Yeah, she's just famous for ghosting me at this point.
Welcome to Sketched Out, guys. How you guys doing tonight? I am Cole Clayton, Sniffing Glue 22. With me, I have my co-host, Kyle Petrila, and we have our lovely guest, Nina Dicker. How you doing tonight?
So good. Fire.
So we ran into a little bit of a situation. This is our third episode, Kyle, fourth, fifth, something like that. So we're still early.
Fourth.
We're trying to build. Is it four? Okay, so we're trying to build something here, trying to make a fun little show, and everybody keeps just giving us the finger. Like as soon as we're like, "Hey, you want to do a show?" They're like, "Oh, that was tonight. Go fuck yourself." So we got you almost last minute. I asked you on your birthday. I did not realize it was your birthday. Atlas told me, he was like, "You need to wish her a happy birthday." Yeah, I was like, "Oh shit, okay, yeah, happy birthday, by the way. Thank you for saying you would come on." So happy birthday, by the way, belated.
Thanks. It feels good to finally be 13.
What was your birthday on February 29th? Is that what was that really late?
That's not recent.
I'm not calling you old. I'm just saying. A little older than 13.
I don't look like a teenager. I don't look really young and not tired of the world.
I need to get the fuck off your Instagram if that's the case.
I'm turning 30 for the 10th time, so just fucking deal with it.
Actually, I had a friend who I worked with. I worked as an overhire carpenter for a little bit because, like, as a bisexual person, I legally had to. And the guy that got me the job, we call him the professor. We all had like cool nicknames. I didn't. I think I was like the child. And he did this thing that I think is so cool. His name is John. He would do his annual birthday party, but it'd be like his 6th annual 50th birthday party. And he did it, like he just kept, and then it was like his 10th annual 50th birthday party. And I was like, he just like kept going. And I think he still might be going. I'm like, oh my God, this is the funny, like this is.
It's weird that he started that at like 50 and not like.
Not keeping like tradition alive, am I right?
Listen, 50 is the new 20. I don't know if you've heard.
Yeah, okay.
Go with the times.
That makes my hopes for dating relationships good at this point. Anyways,
well, I just turned 30 last week, and I feel 40. So I don't know what y'all are talking about.
Oh
fuck
my
you.
God.
You
Dude,
know
don't
nothing
worry
of
about
40.
it. Don't worry about it. You look 40. It's fine.
I am
don't worry about it.
I am starting to get gray hair right here in the front, actually.
You're not as youthful as me.
There's a guy 10 years older than me.
Shut up. Don't do math. I am 9. I'm 9 years and fuck, like, God, I'm days away at this point.
Oh yeah, your birthday's coming up, huh? Everybody's birthday coming up. Everybody in this group, evidently's parents were getting it on in like September.
Honestly,
I don't know. I don't know the math.
Honestly, my parents never had sex. I don't know how.
9/11 really does it for some people. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
It's a bit of a kink.
I mean, I was already born by 9/11. Actually, I don't know about you, but
you and me both, sir.
Yeah, like I remember 9/11.
Yeah.
Oh wait, yeah, you're right. I was born before 9/11. I just assumed
that was just a date back then.
It was just. It was important my whole life, so I was like, yeah, it's probably.
It is weird because I have a sister who's 21. She was born after it, and to her, it's just like an event that happened in history. Wow. And I'm like, oh, that ruined my life. Kind of, not really, but like crazy. Kind of.
I can't wait for everyone in the chat to be like, oh my God, she forgot 9/11.
Yeah, we don't get that many people watching the show yet.
Never forget.
Not enough for people to care. If it was mine and Dino's show on Hammer and Cheese, yeah, we would piss a lot of people off. But me and Kyle we're still in our early days. So, Nina, tell me about yourself. How'd you get into comedy?
I was just born really funny. Yeah.
That's a good answer.
No, honestly, I kind of got into it by accident. I've always sorry, I was gonna say I've always been funny. I've always been like the person like in groups and at parties like who tells funny stories. And like this happened like so many times. People would be like, I'd be in a new group of people, and one person would be like, "Oh my God, Nina, you have to tell them the tangerine story," or "Oh my God, Nina, tell them the story about the boat. You have to hear this story." And then like I go into a story, and I've always loved doing that. And then I was in, well, I still do TV and film and acting. And the pandemic hit, and I was talking to my unofficial manager. I was like, I don't know what to do. I have no talents. He was like, "Don't you write?" And I was, because part of stand-up is writing.
Right.
And I was like, "Oh no, I'm not a writer." And he was like, "Okay, but you like told me a while ago you've written sketches and stories and like articles and excerpts." And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Okay, so you're a writer?"
Yeah, got you there.
I was like, "Oh, yeah, I guess." And
Like
so,
a light bulb above your head. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
yes, I am.
because I
Wow.
mean, the next step, he was like, "I want you to try stand up," but it was the pandemic, and I was like, "I'd rather die than do stand up on Zoom." And he was like, "Yeah, you're right." So I wrote a book called. It's a funny, but it's like a book, but like it's like a stand up book where I wrote it as I would have said it. And it's called. Can I say it? Are we monetizing?
You know, you
this,
can say
or-
whatever you want. We don't give a fuck.
Okay. The title is Tangerine Vagina. It's a really good book, and I'm not biased at all. And so after I wrote that book, and published it, after a little while, stuff started lifting, and so I started going and doing stand up and kind of playing off stories in my book and promoting that as well. And it's just kind of stuck. And I've enjoyed doing stand up more than I've enjoyed doing anything ever. So that's how
You're
I
really
stand up.
good at stand up. I saw the one about Applebee's, and I Won't Happy Die. The one that you kind of like broke up because it was kind of like.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds bad when I say it like this. It was a long-winded joke, but it was banger after banger after banger. It had me
Well, I
rolling
mean-
for probably 20 minutes.
Well, I mean, I gotta say, listen, I love stand up and I love and appreciate everyone's like how everyone does their own stuff.
Mhm.
I would say I'm a storyteller when it comes to stand up. Because I feel like it's writer brain. I have to have a beginning, a middle, and an end, and an
Just
arc
paint the
and
picture
everything.
and everything.
I gotta paint the picture. And so a lot of my jokes are very story driven, or they're woven within a story, because that's just how I do things. I like people who just write like one liner bangers after bangers. I'm just like, props to you. Wow, I could never. I don't
With that either, I don't understand the one-liner thing really.
Yeah.
See, when I do my stand-up, I try to like this is the thing I want to be known for, which is funny. I just want like smooth transition, but I'll smoothly transition through like the most ridiculous topics. Like they're not really
Yes.
even, but it's like finding that footpath, like finding the little trail, because you can get
Yeah.
there. You just need, a minute, and then it's just like, but then I forget shit and it fucks up. But the
Nobody
intention's
cares.
there, and I'm
if
more,
the intention's there, that's
Yeah.
what matters.
I intended to be funny, so you should have laughed. You
I
also,
know. I just tell people, I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. You forgot to laugh at that part, but I'm not mad. It's okay.
I
So
do.
Jim says, "Good afternoon. I'm late. I enjoyed Nina's book, and she is funny, but I'm a set up and punch myself guy."
But
Oh.
what do you mean? But
But I don't know what I know.
I think he's just saying that like he does his own thing, a different thing. You know what I mean?
He's
I feel
not.
you too, Nina, because I kind of tell stories similar to how you do it. I mostly just kind of retell how white trash I am, really. But like you do it a little bit more organized than I do. I just retell the bad decisions I've made. Like,
It's funny though. Like I've seen like stories are like they're obviously Bert Crusher or
Mhm.
whatever the hell. Like he got famous, but I've seen him do other stories that like, but his time was up, so they didn't like
Mhm.
he couldn't like finish. So it's like it's a different beast because you got to get like because stories sometimes they're longer than the time allotted, and you have to like edit, I guess. And it's funny. The host was just like, "All right, we kind of need to hear the end of this," because it was all about him going to the Anne Frank house, but he thought but he confused Anne Frank and Helen Keller.
Yeah.
So he started making like Helen Keller jokes about Anne Frank. And then somebody was like, it was like after like the entire day, somebody's like, "Do you mean Helen Keller?" And then he just realized how stupid he's been the entire fucking day. And
I remember him telling this story. Those were
but it's
No, but yeah, you only like notoriously in stand-up most of the time you're gonna usually, if you're not like more known or doing bigger shows, you're gonna get like 5-minute slots. And let me tell you, it was so hard fitting in some of my stories those 5 minutes, because sometimes I'm able to break it down, but other times I'm like, I need at minimum 7 or 8 minutes. Like I can't, like there's stuff I can't cut out, and then I can do like I want to keep the jokes, but then if the jokes aren't with the setup, it won't work. And then it's like, it's so hard.
Just said I was in a writing class with Nia. I enjoyed her jokes.
Jim,
we all do. She wouldn't be on here if we didn't enjoy her jokes. So
imagine like we hate.
Yeah, I mean, if I checked out the show, I was like, she kind of sucks. I wouldn't have been. I wouldn't have even approached her. Like,
dead.
She probably could have gotten on this show with a funny photo, dude. Like,
right. I'm just like that, though.
Oh, Jim. I remember Jim. Okay. I was like, who is that? I couldn't see the avatar. I was like,
oh yeah, it's these little pictures or whatever.
Yes.
So with that said, let's go into some of your sketches. What do we got coming up first? Let's see. Hit this button. Nope, not that one. That's the one. There we go.
All right, well, Jim, you're gonna hate these.
I love anything that starts that way.
So we have unsolicited advice, a true story. All right.
It might
do
be
we
bad.
need any like preempting for this, or do you just want us to just go right there?
Preempting. I wrote the sketch because I didn't rewatch this before I sent it, so I probably should have. But I wrote this sketch based off this actually happening to me at an audition. So I am
we're not about to get into like Harvey Weinstein shit, are we?
No. No, that would be a much funnier
This is a weird way to be like, by the way, this wasn't actually supposed to be funny. I didn't know. You just said sketches. I didn't know they had to be funny. Some dark ass shit. All right. So here we go.
This is when I joined the Me Too. Yes.
Oh, I love that it's positive.
Is it like so hot in here, or is it just me? Yeah, it's a little warm in here. Not really the right day
Sounds off right now.
to wear dress me in
Post
sweatshirt
it.
material, but
Not that again.
Was it
This
me?
happened like last time too.
Yeah, we have technical difficulties on
hot in here, or is
4
it
of the 4 shows.
just me?
And I don't
really
know
the-
what the problem is.
The best part is we tried to switch to mine, different difficulty.
Yeah, no, his just wasn't getting sound. So hold up. All right. I don't know, but we fixed it last time. And then
how you fixed it?
I like that you're like, see, I classify myself as a writer above other things, especially now because I do write other things too. But like, I've always, you're like, oh, comedy, there's some writing in that. I'm like, fuck, it's all writing.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Well,
you're
you
just
know,
saying shit.
Some people just go up there and they're like, I'm gonna wing it, and they do pretty well. But I could not. That could not be me. I could not do that.
yeah, I used to just like write jokes, and then I realized that I had this weird, like, particular life. I guess when I told stories to friends or whatever, they're like, "Why are you telling those jokes?" And I'm like, "These are jokes. That was just something that happened to me. Like, y'all find that funny? It was a terrible thing that happened." Fuck. So
I tend to. Okay.
no, go ahead.
Oh,
Dude.
go.
Is it like so hot in here? Or is it just me? Yeah. Yeah, it's a little warm in here. Not really the right day to wear a dress made of sweatshirt material, but it's just the luck I seem to be having. Right? I like totally feel you. I don't know if I'm nervous or excited. Auditions like always do this to me. What about you? I mean, I'm definitely not nervous. More like tired, I guess. And a little annoyed. Like, so this dog I'm sitting literally 20 minutes before I left pees on my headshot. So I had to run to UPS because there wasn't a Staples nearby and they didn't have any photo paper. So I had to print my headshot on this shitty white paper. All right, is there something wrong with white paper? Because that's what mine is printed on. Oh, yeah, no, that's fine. The selfie printed on white paper is fine. I have ones printed on different paper that I prefer. That's an awesome picture, though. Is it professional? I mean, we didn't have to have professional ones for this, did we? I don't think it really matters. Wait, what's that on the back? Oh my God, is that a list of all the things you've done? We didn't need that, right? The email didn't say that we needed that. That's my resume. I just usually have it attached to the back of my headshot. Wow, that's like a lot of things. How old are you? I'm almost 23. Graduated last May. Oh my God, that's like so much older than I thought you were. I mean, you look younger than I do. Okay. I'm 18. What did you graduate with? A BFA in theater. Oh, nice. I'm getting my English degree, but I'm thinking of switching to acting. Yeah, not theater though, because I feel like that's dying out. I've been in 2 short films, and I feel like that's where I truly belong. You know, like that feeling when you're giving everything into the universe and it just gives it right back to you. That's how I feel when I'm on camera. Oh my God,
Kyle
yeah,
left. It's
totally.
too bad.
Hey, don't be nervous. You've got this. I'm so fine. Just stay in a positive mindset. You know, like I'm just going to go in there, do my monologue, and if they like me, they like me. And, you know, hopefully they'll offer me the part. Yep, you do that. You do that. You want to do some like breathing exercises with me? Oh, or maybe you want to run your monologue for a fresh pair of ears. I took an acting for the camera class, and I know it's like so different than theater, so maybe I could give you a few pointers. I'd rather get all of my teeth pulled one by one, swallow them like pills, and then shit them out.
Jesus.
I was tired.
Okay, so that was hilarious, actually.
Thank you. Man, I was kind of a cunt in the beginning there. Oh my God.
No, because the weird thing is, to me, I see the girl on the left, I guess, or whatever, the non glasses version of you as like the main character, and the other one's kind of being a dick, because and I run into that situation a lot where these like outgoing people want to like just assert themselves onto you, and then I'm like, no, leave me alone. I didn't
Yeah.
want any part of you. I pride myself on how unapproachable I try to make myself, and people still do it, and then they get mad at me because I didn't want to talk to you. Like, so
Yeah.
I see what you did there, and I love it.
I mean, it was just like, you know, you go to school, because I'm majored in theater, and you go to school and they always tell you, they're like, never, ever give anyone unsolicited advice. If you have advice, ask them if they're open to receiving it, but never ever do unsolicited advice. And the amount of unsolicited advice that I get like all over the place from, and like, you know, sometimes like if I'm on shows being an extra, I'll just be hanging out and someone will offer some advice and I'm like, oh, thank you.
Unsolicited advice is a big California or Los Angeles thing I've learned.
Oh yeah.
Not that
It's-
I hate Los Angeles, and that I have friends from there, but Jesus, do they just hand you advice you didn't ask for?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about you, Kyle, but you know, it's happened to me more in TV and film than in stand-up. I feel I've only ever had one stand-up comedian give me unsolicited advice. But I don't know about you.
The only time it's funny because like the only person that was like, I have advice, if you would like to hear it. And that was fucking Cole. That was literally Cole was the only one that ever gave me like, but like,
Oh yeah, I'll ask you if you want my advice.
yeah, no, I was
have a lot
usually,
of shit.
No,
You
but
may not
asking is what you're supposed to do.
no, that was good. No, that was like the only person who did it was Cole. And but like, I'm usually pretty open to whatever they have to say. But also like, I have achieved unapproachable pretty strong. Like, it doesn't really like. It's weird when somebody they usually pay for it too. When they actually like come to me. But like yeah, so like when I went to, I've only ever had one in-person audition because I pretty much became an actor during COVID. So when I went there, it's like I didn't talk to anybody, no other actors and shit. And like it was funny, the internet went out for like the entire, we have two major providers and one of them went down that entire day. So everybody was freaking out. And I'm on the other provider. I'm like, I could use my phone, but I'm just sitting here reading. So it's funny because I just didn't care to. But yeah, so all right, what's next?
Oh, this is another theater one. The other two I sent are much shorter, but this is another theater one. Yeah.
Do you want to play through?
Sure.
Is that the X?
Yeah.
Right. Hi,
Pause.
Jane,
Oh no.
for being here today. What do you have for us?
Why is it fun?
I love that I have to keep reliving this over and over again.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's good.
Right. Hi, thank you so much for having me today. Hi, thank you, Jane, for being here today. What do you have for us? I'll be performing a monologue today from The Treetops by.
I'm so sorry to cut you off, but the last three people who came in here did the same cut, and I cannot hear it again. Do you have anything else you can show us?
Feel free to step outside and take a look at your book if you don't feel. Yes. I mean, no. I don't need to step outside. I have another monologue. Well, great. Let's hear it. Yes. You.
Can I just say real quick? I'm getting mad. It's Alexis from Schitt's Creek vibes. Like,
What?
just you know, when I thought the song, I'm a little bit Alexis.
Yes.
Can't
It's
handle the truth. Do you know how I got these scars? My father, he drank alcohol. And he said, the world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. Get busy living or get busy dying. But my mom, she said, you was kind, you was smart, you was important. And as far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster. You know, leave the gun, take the cannoli.
I have that on the shirt.
They may take away our lives, but they'll never take our freedom. I'm fucking walking here.
I'm sorry. What exactly was that from?
It is from the show play, rather, Jingle All the Way. Sally.
Okay. Sweet. As you know, this part is physically demanding, so the last thing we need to know is, can you do a cartwheel?
It's totally fine if you can't do a cartwheel.
Oh no, I can do a cartwheel. I'm so good at cartwheels. I got cartwheels on lockdown.
Can we see it?
Mm-hmm.
Man, I really loved Empty Space. It's my friend.
All right. Gonna just let me know when you're ready.
Thank you.
Oh, shit.
Oh, I think you're supposed to. Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Thank you. No, not again. No, thank you.
I know. Oh,
Hey, stop.
I didn't really understand
Stop.
the. Didn't understand taking out the air in between takes, and I can totally appreciate that now. But actually, now that I saw that again, I'm remembering I thought of this sketch because a rule of theater, they say you're always supposed to say yes. And in an audition, they asked if I could do a cartwheel, and I went, yeah. And they went, okay, can we see it? And I didn't. I wasn't expecting for them to ask to see it because I can't do a cartwheel. And so my cartwheel looked exactly like that. And they were like, and I was like, it's a bad day. I have it every other day. It's just not a good day for cartwheels. And they were like, for sure. I didn't get the part.
I was an athlete the entire time I was a teenager, and that's exactly how I would do a cartwheel. So don't feel bad.
I have actually learned how to do a cartwheel, and my friend was like, I was like, I can do a cartwheel. She's like, prove it. And then it took about like 6 months before I had the opportunity to actually do it. Because it was like winter and shit. We were outside. I wasn't doing a cartwheel up there. But yeah, so whatever. I can actually do
Yeah, you don't understand how weak you are.
like 30. What?
Yeah.
I said, you don't understand how weak you really are until you do a cartwheel.
No, for real. For real. Oh, shout out to my ex for participating in that with me. It's like clear in there. He's like a brilliant actor, and I'm just there like do, and he's over here acting his face off.
Were y'all together when that during that, or were y'all already broken up?
No. We were together. I don't think he would do that for me if we were
Gotcha,
broken up.
okay.
But no, we were together.
That's
I
what
mean,
I'm more comfortable with. Not talking to your ex.
I like
The people who can still be friends afterward freak. I'm like, y'all are serial killers. Y'all have to be friends because y'all are hiding something that
Yeah.
both of y'all know. Like,
well, I broke up. I mean, here's the thing. Why am I saying this? He could see this. I broke up with him in a not like a great way. Don't worry, I got into therapy. I'm fine now. but I broke up with him, and then I was like, oh, but I'd love to still be friends because I still like, when you like love a person but you don't love a person, I was like, I would love to be friends, and he was like, oh, absolutely not, and I was like, okay, respect. I totally feel that. You're right.
It's funny. I'm friends with my ex, but
Well, look at you, Kyle. So
neither
special.
here nor there. Well, she now lives 5 hours away and is married, so it's like it's not a whatever. It's not like a relationship anymore. Anyways,
I mean, I'm on Facebook friends with some of my exes. I'm not like
Yeah.
let's go get a beer, friends. Like,
no,
Like cordial.
no, I would,
Yeah.
but whatever. No, I like the premise because I've seen I've never had that happen because
You're
I've
so
never had a
talented.
career. Anyways, no, but like I've seen it happen they do it to people on fucking like American Idol. They're
Oh
like,
yeah.
we've heard this song 1,000 times. Please do a different one. It's just like, well, you
Dude.
gave them fucking 5 different ones to learn and learn one, and then you're like, no, we can't do that. And they're like, what the
Mhm.
fuck do you do then? Yeah, I bet you a lot of those people came back next season. Like
Yeah,
learned
honestly.
a couple songs, right? Like I'm just like,
Terrible.
wow, you're doing that, and then you're gonna film it and show it on national TV for 100
Yeah.
million people. and this person's like, oh yeah, you know the song that you just practice every day for 8 hours for 3 months? Yeah, we don't want that song.
Mm-hmm.
Please do
Exactly.
fucking, Macarena or whatever the fuck. I don't know.
Wait, I just remembered. One of the things in that sketch also was the made-up monologue. I did that because I remember hearing there was a kid in my BFA program who he was so proud of himself. He was like, yeah, I just go into auditions and I make up monologues. We were talking about like how hard it is sometimes to memorize like songs and monologues and like dance numbers, etc. But he was like, oh yeah, I don't bother with memorizing a monologue. I just make it up. And when they ask when they ask what it's from, I just say The Treetops by Arthur Smith or something. And I was like, what?
no, yeah, that dude's insane. Like there's
You can't do that.
Did he book roles? Did he book? Did he get booked?
I mean, he would like. I don't think he booked like Broadway, but he got booked sometimes.
Surely he got booked. He couldn't be that confident in his abilities without it working at least once.
No,
Yeah,
but there
that's
was because when I took a few acting classes. Of course, this is after I did my commercial. Like I booked an acting role, and I'm like, you know what I should do? Use that money to learn to act. So I did that.
Yeah, you're doing it in reverse, bro.
Yeah, that's what the teacher said too.
Yes.
And he's
Oh
like,
my
no,
God.
he's like, there are people that like, he's like, it's ridiculous. Everybody, they're like, oh, there's like literally like actors who get booked frequently. And he's like reading, they're filming his audition, and they're like, can you see the script in my hand? He's like, no. He's like, well, back up so you can. He's like, I want them to know that if I'm this good without memorizing, then it's going to be fucking fantastic memory. And I'm just like, what the fuck balls on this guy? But he gets booked, so it's like, how do you even fault that shit? But I can't like steal that. It sounds like a bad idea. Like,
Oh, that's hilarious.
yeah.
I've done a couple of auditions for like plays, but like I actually got booked for one, and then I realized like I didn't want to do. I was like, I don't want to be in a play. Like I'll be in a movie if if I could do that. But I live in Cleveland. It's not gonna happen. But like I just seen how everybody was doing and I was like, this isn't for me. Like I can't be serious this long in front of people. I will make some shit up and say something stupid just to like, because that's who I am as a person. So
See, that's it's funny I was always thinking, it's funny, like just for my entire life, even I'm just like, because you see sitcoms like Friends, Roseanne, and shit, and they're all like they're filmed in front of live audience, and I'm just like, that seems so unnerving to me to do that. But then I do stand up, and I'm just like, every time I'm in like a half empty room, I'm like, this is horse shit. So like I have like completely conflicting ideas on the whole thing. I'm just like, no, I think you need the audience for comedy, and then. But it's just like you have to like keep doing it. And yeah, like it's fucking like sure there's millions of dollars and all that shit, but it's like it's fucking work.
Mhm.
if you have a bad day acting, it's gonna be a long fucking day.
Yeah.
Like, because you have to like, it's all mental at that. Like, you have to get the fuck out of there and just like become not even yourself. You have to become
I
somebody
didn't know
else.
that. I kind of always thought that acting was like people chose it because it was like not manual labor. But is it pretty exhausting on the soul?
It can be exhausting. Sorry. No, but like, I don't judge people now. Like you've all heard the Christian Bale freak out and stuff.
Mhm.
But it's just like, okay, somebody was talking while he was trying to do something. He's probably been waiting 15 hours to do that fucking thing, and he's probably exhausted, and he probably has to work out after. You know, like
Yeah.
like the
Also,
dude's
like,
doing-
how many times have they been shooting that scene? Like, what is this?
Yeah.
Like the 30th take, and someone's talked over it, then it's like, ugh.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I get, and they're probably exhausted, like, because yeah, I'm sure he broke on his first 16-hour day. Like, no,
Yeah.
they're like so many,
Yeah,
you know,
for
like
real.
it's probably like they usually don't work on weekends, but sometimes they do. And like sometimes they do 6 days a week and they'll do it for like 3 months, and you get fucking tired. Like, it's not always like a lot of work, but it's just a lot of like
Yeah.
boredom.
Yeah.
There's other stuff. And like I get it. And
Also,
and then
I
sorry.
don't know about you, but like being an actor and also being a writer, like there's hard things about acting, but I find acting to be slightly easier than writing and doing stand up, or like doing the stand up that I wrote, because like a lot of expectations come with performing stand up. You're actively trying to get people to laugh, whereas acting, you're just kind of finding the character that was given to you. And so you're not trying to do both things at once, but
Yeah,
also
you're just working off of what somebody already made as an actor. Whereas like doing stand up, you're making something from absolutely nothing.
right.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, if the writing is shit, it's really hard to act it.
Season 8 Game of Thrones. Like well acted. Well acted.
I
Woo,
have
that is
so much to say on this topic.
I got an audition because the directors thought I looked like someone who would be in love with his cousin. And as a Southerner, I am from Texas. I do empathize with that.
No, like, okay, with I do find acting easier, which is fun. It's funny that like it's so hard making money in acting, and I'm just like, go into comedy and then tell me about not making money.
Yeah, right.
I did
For
2 days on set, and those 2 days probably have already paid more than the fucking my entire comedy career of the 5 years.
There's unions
Yes.
and acting, and stuff like that. And there's like organization to it. It's a crew, it's a team. Whereas
Well,
you're
my
just
second
kind of
day on set, I
stuff.
got upgraded to SSE, so I was like, so I was making $40 an hour, and fucking, I didn't even know it at the time, and and then they're like, no, but this is it. They're like, Kyle, they're like, Kyle, who's Kyle? And I'm like, me. And then they're like, all right. They're like, this is the star shot. And I'm just like, and I'm like, okay. And then I leave to the people that I'm like, what does that mean? Like, this is how fucking green. And I'm like, just, do I have to do anything different? And they're like, no. I'm like, all right, carry on. And then, so that was, but it's like, okay, with stand up, you have material you have written, and you already like it's yours. Whereas it's the reverse for acting. You have to like make the material yours. So that's the difference. And then comedy, you just have to like remember, and it's the personal aspect, which is funny because like I've done both, and now I'm trying to read. I'm trying to do some poetry, and talk about like. That's even scarier to me. It is the worst thing performing
vulnerability
poetry, because it's oh yeah. I'm just like I've done stand up, I've done acting, I've done MMA, but nobody tried to punch me in my soul.
Wow.
You know, like so like poetry. It's just like fuck, man. I'm like I made this so personal. Now I'm gonna tell. The only thing I can do is perform in front of strangers because I can't like talk to people I know.
Kyle jumped over to poetry because he was like, how do I do stand-up if I'm not funny?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm talking
Actually,
shit.
no, I go into it. It's funny. I riff pretty well. I had them rolling last time, and then I'm just like, I made them laugh, and then I made them like depressed. So it was
Hot.
but it's different because I was just like, I'm a stand-up too, so these are just jokes that didn't work, and so it's and the writing is surprisingly similar. You just don't really have a punchline. You just have like, it doesn't have to make them laugh. Although it was weird. I'm just like, okay, so I'm used to getting up there and doing comedy, and then they laugh and you pause and shit. So now I'm just gonna pause and then hope something happens, you know?
Yes.
And then I'm just like, you just have to like let them know you're done, and then they like applaud or whatever, or they grab a tissue because they're sad. But
Well, I was gonna say I figured, I just assumed that you made a lot of money off of that movie you did, The Princess Bride. Ezek, no, is that not you?
No, he was the caveman in the Geico commercial.
or you know,
That
Aquaman.
was low hanging fruit. I've made that one, that joke a million times. I was ready to
Yes.
for it.
It was like not funny when they made it and the commercial was on.
No, he really reminds me of the brother Robert from Everybody Loves Raymond. That's
See,
who it.
Sorry, I'm just trying to see who you're hitting on in your DMs. Who's Tara?
Actually,
uh,
a lot of these people are people are trying to do
wait, my sister.
A little bit.
right.
Sure.
You missed the beginning.
I own I have in
Cole?
my car. Big old box of gauze.
No.
Remember?
You gotta
From that package.
scroll it
gotta
back.
start
You
over.
gotta catch the beginning.
On the
You gotta
side
catch
of
the
it.
beginning.
So I
Beginning's the
get
funniest part.
circumcised. The circumcision day.
Sit up a little bit higher, yeah?
Sure. Whoa. I own I have in my car. Big old box of gauze. Remember? From that package. The one that I found on the side of the road. Wow, that's amazing.
Right.
I get to keep the socks, right?
It's yours. For one time use.
Ice me. This is for the anesthesiologist. Said he likes my brain. I'm moving up in the world. Are they pointing in the right direction?
Is what point in the right direction?
My eyes. It didn't make my forehead smaller. Slackers. You know, like families have a puke bowl. It's the same bowl. They make cakes and, you know what I mean? Got to see the surgeon room. There's all one. It sucks that they probably only got 70%.
Of their salary house.
Both. I feel like the world's worst turtle. When they get straws stuck in their nose. We gotta say
That's how your surgery went.
it went so good. I look like Rod Swanson. So I get circumcised. Circumcision day.
Sit up a little bit higher.
Is that dead? Yeah.
So you legit did that during your after your surgery?
Yeah.
Was it-
I
Extras are just you, just being.
that's just me. That's just me.
I
This has
shit.
happened. I've only ever had a few surgeries, and this always happens after the surgery. I say some wild shit, and I've never caught any on camera. And so for the person who came to pick me up, I was like, "You got to record. You have to record." I also forgot to tell my surgical team that I am not a natural redhead. Which really does matter because redheads notoriously genetically need more anesthesia. And so I
you got a little extra.
I got a little extra because they were like, "Oh, we got to give her a little. She's a redhead."
You got
And I
a
was-
bump.
Well, because of all the alcohol from all the drinking over the Irish island.
No, but it was I was basically it was taking a long time for me to come out, and they were like, "What's wrong with her?" And I
That's
was like,
hilarious.
I woke up and I was basically still paralyzed, but I could talk and I could have thoughts. So all of that just talking and sticks. I couldn't fucking move. I was so out of it.
So
So,
and let-
Zaragoza asked us, said, this is different, no Atlas, no Dino. Yeah, we're doing kind of like more of a group effort where we kind of all work together as a team of podcasters. I'm Cole. You've probably seen me on Atlas and Dino stuff. Kyle, you've probably seen it as well. But this is sketched out. We're doing every couple of weeks we do an episode where we interview a guest and talk about their sketches. And we have Nina Dicker with us tonight. So
Yay.
See, you fell into it too. They're like, oh, you had all these people. They're like, hey, you're really funny. You should do stand up. And it's just like, oh, great, the horrible career I should do.
Yeah, 100%.
all of us got into it. Enough people told us we were funny, and our ego inflated, And then we got up there, and we're like, fuck, like.
Yeah.
This is not actually any fun at all. And now I'm addicted to it like it's heroin. Like,
You know what?
I know. I'm like,
You know
I bombed?
right.
Oh, I bombed? I'm doing this again, and you're gonna laugh.
That's the craziest part is the worst bomb I ever had was like a punch in the mouth emotionally. Just like the whole time I was just talking to everybody. I was just like, that was just the most disenfranchising thing I've ever dealt with. And they're like, so you're going to quit? I was like, oh, no, like, not at all. What gave you that idea?
No. You're like, no, I'm gonna keep doing this.
myself.
I'm gonna hurt myself. I'm gonna
It's
keep
definitely-
doing it.
Good stand-up comedy is definitely the banging your head on the wall, right? It's just like feels so good when I stop,
Yeah. What's that saying about like madness or how they're like
Oh, the
Craziness.
definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result.
yeah.
Well, but they do laugh.
Change up what we're doing. We're just gonna be like, okay, that sucked. Let's not do that. Do anything other than that, and you bomb again because you're like, you're trying to get it. Okay, well, they laughed at this part, so let's spread that out, So
Yeah.
There are like good comedians, and then like I'm not even saying funny, but like just like good professionally. Like I know a guy that he literally has like graphs of every joke he ever told, when he told it, like every show he's done for like
Wow.
and he has like hundreds, like 7, and it's like jokes, and it's like once he's used it 3 times and it doesn't work, it's off the list. And then like I'm like, fuck, dude, I
Wow.
don't know what I said 5 minutes ago, and I don't know what I'm gonna say next time, but I will get up on stage and shit will happen. And
Yeah.
it's funny how much
thing. I kind of just say the general gist of what I said last time, but
Mhm.
I'll try to emphasize things that I know get laughs, but I don't ever tell a story the same way twice.
Oh yeah.
I get
Yeah.
I get bored, which is what I think makes me a bad comedian. Like I get sick of telling the same jokes, so I don't really like always have a tight set. I just stories, current events, like just shit that's happened. Like my life is so fucked that it usually has enough to just go on. And sometimes it comes out depressing, and then other times it's hilarious. And I'm just like, I just need to figure out how to harness the one time. But
Yeah.
So Nina, where can everybody find you?
On the internet.
For sure. First thing, follow her on.
They can follow me on Instagram, TikTok.
is it all
there's
your
a-
name?
Right.
Oh yeah. Oh duh. It's at Nina Dicker, my legal name. It's not a joke. It's my real name, not for funsies. They can follow me on Instagram, TikTok until the government takes it away. Facebook, all the street. I do tend to get followed on the street. If anyone would like to do that as well, that's a place that you can follow me.
Follow
What
me
else?
home after a show.
Follow me home after a show. Crazy.
I was gonna say, like, well, watch what you say.
Yeah.
I know. I don't do that. That was a joke. If anyone was wondering, that was not me giving you
The
permission.
comedian.
When the cops are like, "Did you tell people to follow you home on YouTube?" I'm like, "What?"
Then you'll be
No.
like, wait, somebody was watching? Shit.
Someone was watching.
Watching, I didn't know it was gonna come back to me. Like,
And I'll come out and be like, "Oh my god, do you watch the show? That's crazy."
You can follow me home.
Like you should call Cole. Cole and Kyle. Hey guys.
So, yeah,
Here's my
no.
fan.
Our fan.
I don't have
Oh.
Nina's numbers, so don't call me.
I met Nina 49 minutes ago, so don't call me.
Whoops.
And then I'm gonna do one weird question. Because I'm trying something. What is a conspiracy that you don't think is a conspiracy? You think is totally real?
Ooh, wait. I just asked one of this like a few days ago. That's actually really funny that you say that. Conspiracy theory that I don't think. Oh, wait, you're saying is there a
Like you think
conspiracy
is
theory
real?
that I believe isn't a conspiracy?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
Okay. Well, I mean, at this point, I don't even know if this is a conspiracy theory or if everyone's just accepted this as truth, and that's the conspiracy about Jeffrey Epstein to kill himself. I'm like, is that even a conspiracy, or are we just? We're all just like,
I think we all know that one. Yeah, I think we're all on the same page on that one. We're kind of. It's like one of those things where like your wife cheated on you and she knows but y'all aren't talking about it. Because you're like, well, I don't want to get a divorce because like, I don't want to lose the house. And she doesn't work, so she's gonna get everything. You know what I mean? So like, we just like it's not that big a deal. He wasn't even that, So
oh my
Well,
god.
it is kind of just like, well, the bad man is dead.
right.
Before he was going to be murdered in some sense.
I mean,
anyway.
yeah, he was a bad guy. So it's not like we're mad he was murdered. We just
Everyone's just accepted it as like, okay, you killed himself. Like,
Whoa.
whatever.
On the lot.
Yeah, I'm sure there are other. I like can't. When someone asks you a question and I'm like, I totally have an answer to this, but I like my brain just cleared out and I have no memory of all the other conspiracy theories that I definitely
I went
believe.
to high school. But what do you think about this? I don't know. You caught me on a bad day.
What, test anxiety or whatever? I get that.
Yes.
That's all the answers. No, okay, tell me them. Fuck.
I had the best part is I was so shit at high school that like my only goal was like I would go in and I would get like better on a test than some asshole that I knew would try, and I would just like fucking like hammer that into him. So it was really just like bullying at that point. But it was the collective, like the dude everybody hated anyway, so nobody worried about it. He was, and I don't know. I think I tried to Google him once. Just to see what happened to this motherfucker. I don't know. I don't know if I followed or found out. But.
Wait, I need to hear both of your answers to this question as well. I'm now curious.
Conspiracy theory thing?
Yeah.
Okay, Cole, are you going or am I going?
You were first, Kyle, because I'm not sure. I know a lot. I could go crazy right now.
Honestly, so many that are like considered conspiracy theories are just like I'm like, isn't it just fact now? Like, okay. Are we still just like pretending that the vaccines did anything? Like, I don't know. Just
No.
because
I can't say this on YouTube. This is the one.
And then also just like, oh yeah, we're set up for success. No, like high school and all that stuff. Like, what are we? No, like
high school.
Higher education is nothing but a ploy for money. Yeah, that's fact now.
Oh yeah.
So
Was that a conspiracy?
Well, I don't know. It was but it was considered truth that it was of value.
No, my favorite thing is like you get once you become an adult, you gotta figure out how to like apply for a credit card, apply for a loan, apply for a job, pay your taxes, all these things. But like, goddamn, do I remember that the powerhouse of the cell is the mitochondria? I remember that. I remember.
Yeah. But like, dude, we did what, like a year or 2 years on long division, which I haven't used once.
I've never seen it, and
we spent like an hour on doing taxes. Like what am I gonna do the rest of my life?
Yeah,
long division or taxes.
The only time I've ever seen long division as an adult is I have an 8-year-old son, and now he's starting to learn long division. Okay. Like, fuck, it's back. They were
right. Some chick on, like, I only have one person on Snapchat, and I don't know why I even have that. But I think it was like through a dating app I ended up with this. Anyways, but I talked to her once in a while, and she was talking about like teaching her kid algebra. I'm like, literally today, so it's so funny that you said that. I'm like, is the reason for us to learn algebra just so that we can remember it to teach our kids algebra? Like, I've never used it in between. Like, and I know that there's like, can you see? Like, there's purpose for it, but not in my field, which is most of everybody's fields. Like, existing as a human, unless you're in like railroads and shit, and like, like people need algebra for that, but like, I don't.
I mean, algebra is kind of important. Like,
It's extremely important, not to me, not to Cole. Like, it's just,
no, I use algebra every day. Actually,
yeah. What did X equal yesterday?
You said what?
So what did X equal yesterday?
Whatever Elon Musk says it equals.
Okay. X. So, yeah. Do kids just like? Why are we trying to figure out Twitter? Like,
Yeah, right.
the square root of Twitter.
I know that I don't care why my ex did anything. I'm just moved on, you know. So shut the fuck up, Mr. Algebra teacher.
Long division. Well, there was two of us. Now there's one of
As
us.
far as mine, I'll go with something kind of easy because, like, I really am a conspiracy theorist guy. Like, I can sit there and go through channels and channels and that's what I do when I don't have anything going on. Is I'm on TikTok, freaking the fuck out.
Going down the well.
Like, for hours. It's from I'll get in bed at 9 o'clock with the intention of going to bed, and then 4 o'clock rolls around, and I'm just screaming at my phone like, these motherfuckers. So I'm gonna go something easy. I'm convinced not all the birds are drones, but definitely some of them. At least one bird you see a day is a government drone.
Yeah. You are really just chucking yourself head first into the white trash. White trash.
It's not an act. This is who I am.
You're like, I've escaped the white trash notions. And then you're like, the birds are cameras.
You saw what I saw, you would understand.
You're right. They showed it to you, Cole. That's what they would do.
Yeah. Following me necessarily. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not that schizophrenic. I'm just saying, like, they're generally watching to see what we're doing, you know, as a whole. You know. So
I mean, no, I could get on board with that. I believe that a little bit.
They're spying on us, bro. Every chance.
Through birds.
Maybe, I mean, not even through birds. I don't know what they would be spying on us with. But I was just recently in an airport, and I went to like make a joke about like having a gun because there were like signs that were like, make sure you don't have a gun. I was like, oh, I brought my gun, my mistake. But then I went to be like, oh, I brought my, and I like stopped and I was like, oh my God. It's like, no, can't say it too loud. Will I get arrested?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, why do I feel like that?
The airport is like the hardest place in the world for a comedian. Like, because it's so easy to get arrested.
You can't be funny.
Like,
so
I guess
easy.
there and
11.
I guess there and port. Like, because it's just gonna end bad. Because I always go for the funny. I don't go for the this will work out poorly for you. Like,
no, I don't. I'm not allowed to go to like churches anymore because then I make fun of like the raped kids. You know, just like. Oh my God. Like, yeah, no, there's places I know for everyone else's sake, I shouldn't go. Like, I'm self-exiling.
Well, that's different.
Yeah. Are you still allowed in schools or?
Yeah, only because I have a kid, you know, like, yeah, so we kind of, man, we can't with him. He hasn't technically done anything.
Are you allowed in school? So I'm like, well, not without a kid because they wonder why you're there.
If you have no kid, you can pretty much do whatever you want at the school. So.
I used to have a whole thing about, like, I had a bit about how parks are just like overly safe now, and I was just like, have you been to a park lately? Have you been to a park lately? I'm just like, hopefully with a kid, otherwise there might be problems. So,
no, dude, I found out like I took my kid to Legoland last year, and you can't get in if you don't have a kid. You can't get in if you don't have a kid to Legoland.
Oh, I can't take Dino to Legoland?
No, that's the.
What if you're just a guy who really likes Legos?
Yeah, I will offer my kid to you guys if y'all want to go to Legoland because he loves that shit. But that
That's how
way
you
you
end
don't
up
you-
in
look
Florida.
like a gay couple or
Are
whatever.
you
But
selling your kid on YouTube?
This is how Cole ended up in Florida for 6 weeks.
dude, I was kidnapped when I was 6 and took to Florida by my mom's baby daddy. So like I
You
have
weren't allowed to get in Florida with
dynamic
those
of
kids.
what it means to
What
be a
is
child. I'm just
happening
saying.
right now? Oh. Hi,
So, no,
everyone. Welcome to therapy.
You gotta rent your kids out, you know. Like put them to, you know, rent
Oh.
is so high. And I live in the cheapest place in the world in America. So
I have a friend. She has twin daughters, and fuck, man, they're okay. They already have much better acting careers than both of us, and like, dude, she has hit it hard. Like, she's just like, these kids pay for themselves, man. Like, they want to go to camp and shit, it's already paid for. They wanted a Switch, they bought it. Like, but they have like no concept of money. But you know, kids go on set, they're twins. They also get like green vouchered all the time. That's they'll get union for like just because.
Mhm.
It's just like, you know, because that kid needs food and the adult should stick for themselves. You know, like the kid needs
Yeah.
a toy, so let's give them double the pay.
They're like-
but you know, the
They like
adult
go up to the
can-
kid and they're like, "Hey, buddy, do you want to go SAG?" And then the adult will be like, "Ooh," and they're like, "Fuck off." You? It's just like the
Yeah,
difference is
I'm like-
staggering.
because you know the kid really has to pay rent this month. Like fuck, like why do the adults not get money now? Like fuck, but like yeah, it's so funny. She's like, I'll tag her and shit for her kids to work, but like she's very like she does background, I do background, but she's like it's hard to help her because she's very generic. So there's no like specific casting calls for her. So she'll get on
Mm.
a lot more than me anyway. But she'll tag me in shit that's like, you know, we need a giant or you know, so
That makes sense. That
Yeah,
tracks.
does. And
Called it.
yeah, it's weird how like it seems like 6'5" is like the cutoff, and I'm taller. Like I don't know.
now he's just flexing. Now he's trying to flirt.
No, like
Oh,
in
he's
acting,
so
they'll be like,
tall.
"Oh, not over 6'5", and I'm just like, "Well, what the fuck? Why is it
I-
1 inch?"
Not 6 foot tall, Kyle. Shut up.
I went like my entire adult life believing I was 5'5", and I'd gaslight all these guys who were like, "Oh, I'm 5'9". I'm like, "There's no way you're 5'9" because I'm 5'5", and we're like really close in height. So, and
How
then
tall are you?
I recently found out I'm actually like 5'6.5". But it kind of depends because if the casting call says 5'5" and under, I am 5'5". But if
Oh,
it
yeah,
says 5'6" and up, I am now 5'6".
I have started to learn to lie a lot more on the cast.
Yes.
Like I just auditioned for something that was BIPOC.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
No.
I'm like, hey man, I'll just be Métis then. That's yeah. So I'm just like, fuck it, whatever. I'm like, no. Do you want somebody who can climb a fucking rope, or do you want somebody who's indigenous and climb a fucking rope? Like because they are
That's
knocking
true.
down
Pick
your
one.
doors right now. Like I'm like, I don't. It pisses me off. I'm like, it's so fucking racist. So it's like, oh, I'm like, it doesn't have to be an indigenous person. You just feel like one needs to be there. Like, no, I'm like, how about you get somebody who's fitted for the fucking job and not just like run everything by race? Like, Black Panther should be black. I get it. But like, you know, there's other things not necessary. Do you want the person that has like the qualifications, or do you just want to just find some fucking unicorn? Also, I highly recommend climbing a rope for the first time after like 8 years of not doing it, because I only hurt for 5 days after.
Sounds about right.
You want to lie to your casting directors. Also, be sure to lie to your therapist because it will get you far in life. All right.
Yeah.
Nina, thank you for coming on. This was a lot of fun. Honestly, out of our 2 guests we've had, you're my favorite one we've had. So,
Don't tell the other guest.
yeah.
It's okay. He's British. He's used to disappointment.
Yeah. I
No.
mean, I did rag him pretty hard last time, but for being British. But you're California. That's not that much better. So,
It's true. And I'm LA.
um,
I make fun of California almost daily. Lots because Atlas is in the group too, but
Yeah,
like
this
mostly
is
because
just-
it's California.
yeah,
Yeah.
we love. He just takes it right on the chin.
He really does.
Jim, if you have sketches, definitely hit me up and maybe we can have you on as a guest. Nina, Dino did tell me that you were interested in coming on to do Hammer and Cheese again at some point. So I will hit you up because Dino doesn't seem to. He has a lot going on. Because he's just
Nice.
passing, and then we never talked about it again. So, but I remember everything because I'm like an elephant. Fucking awesome. Yeah, check out our other shows, Hammer and Cheese, Last Minute History with Atlas, and then I do a show with my sister, The Greatest Goddamn Show on air every Saturday, and every other Saturday I do every other weekend meals with my kiddo. Peace out, guys. Thank you.